things can go on a long time that don't make sense. But they do come to an end. I mean, the internet thing, I mean, you had these companies selling for many billions of dollars that had practically no prospects of making any money. That's a bubble. But Herb Stein one time said, anything that can't go on forever will end. Now that seems pretty enough.
ដូចអ្វីដែលអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាដឹងអញ្ចឹងថាបច្ចុប្បន្នទីផ្សារហ៊ុនគឺធ្លាក់ខ្លាំងធ្លាក់ជាគំហុកតែម្ដងដោយសារសង្គ្រាម tariff រវាងចិននិងសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកវាសបញ្ជាក់ពីការបញ្ចប់នៃ bull run ដែលយើងឃើញកាលពីឆ្នាំកន្លងទៅដោយคลิปដែលយើងបានស្ដាប់ពីខាងដើមរបស់បរិសម្នាក់ដែលស្គាល់ស្រាប់ថាជាលោក Warren Buffett អ្នកវិនិយោគដ៏ល្បីល្បាញនិងអស្ចារ្យលើពិភពលោកផ្នែកវិនិយោគលើផ្សារមូលបត្រពីមួយឆ្នាំទៅមួយឆ្នាំដោយមិនខ្វល់ថាទីផ្សារភាគហ៊ុនឡើងឬចុះយ៉ាងណានោះទេគាត់អាចដឹកនាំក្រុមហ៊ុន Berkshire Hathaway របស់គាត់ទទួលបានប្រាក់ចំណេញ 2000% ជាងតាំងពីឆ្នាំ 1996 មកផ្នែកដ៏ធំមួយនៃភាពជោគជ័យរបស់គាត់គឺលទ្ធភាពក្នុងការវិនិយោគពេលផ្សារហ៊ុនធ្លាក់ថ្លៃខ្លាំងតាំងពីគាត់ឡើងកាន់កាប់ក្រុមហ៊ុន Berkshire មក S&P 500 ដែលជា Index Track Performance របស់ផ្សារហ៊ុនអាមេរិកជារឿយៗមានការធ្លាក់ចុះជាខ្លាំងប៉ុន្តែគាត់នៅតែអាចយកឈ្នះវាបានហើយឥឡូវឆ្នាំ 2025 គឺជាឆ្នាំដែលស្តុកធ្លាក់ខ្លាំងប៉ុន្តែលោក Buffett នៅតែអាចរកលុយបានពីការវិនិយោគរបស់គាត់ដដែល
Warren Buffett is the only one to have actually made money during all of this market mayhem. You see there, Warren Buffett's the only one in the green, making about $11.5 billion since the beginning of the year.
តោះមកមើលលម្អិតក្នុងវីដេអូនេះពីក្បួនទាំង5របស់ Warren Buffett ដែលយើងអាចយកអនុវត្តតាមហើយជួយយើងឲ្យវិនិយោគបានល្អប្រសើរក្នុងលក្ខខណ្ឌទីផ្សារធ្លាក់ចុះខ្លាំងនេះក្បួនទី1ដែលអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាត្រូវចងចាំគឺជៀសវាងលក់ស្តុកក្រុមហ៊ុនដែលល្អដោយសារការភ័យខ្លាចទីផ្សារធ្លាក់ចុះខ្លាំង
Some people should not own stocks at all because they just get too upset with price fluctuations. If you're going to do dumb things because your stock goes down, you shouldn't own a stock at all. No, I mean,
what are dumb things? Selling a stock?
Yeah, selling a stock because it goes down. I mean, if you buy your house at $20,000 and somebody comes along next day and says, "I'll pay you 15," you don't sell it because the quote's 15. You look at the house or whatever it may be. Some people are not actually emotionally or psychologically fit to own stocks, but I think more of them would be if you get educated on what you're really buying, which is part of a business. And the longer you hold stocks, the less risky they become. Whereas the longer the maturity of a bond, the more risky it becomes.
សម្ដីរបស់គាត់ក្នុងคลิปនេះគឺចេញពីគំនិតដំបូងរបស់លោក Benjamin Graham ដែលពន្យល់ពី Mr. Market Mr. Market គឺអាចបកស្រាយរបៀបនេះយើងរស់នៅក្នុងតំបន់អចលនទ្រព្យថ្លៃហើយ agency ទិញលក់អចលនទ្រព្យមកគោះទ្វារផ្ទះយើងរាល់ថ្ងៃដាក់តម្លៃថ្លៃថ្នូរក្នុងការទិញយកផ្ទះរបស់យើងម្សិលមិញឲ្យក្នុងតម្លៃ$200,000ថ្ងៃនេះ$25,000ហើយម្សិលមិញឲ្យតែ$18,000ទេតែយើងនឹងលក់ផ្ទះរបស់យើងតាមថ្លៃរបស់ agency នោះដែរឬទេប្រកាសជាអត់លក់ហើយត្រូវទេនេះគឺដូចគ្នានឹង stock អញ្ចឹងប្រសិនបើយើងមានភាគហ៊ុនជាម្ចាស់កម្មសិទ្ធិនៃក្រុមហ៊ុនដ៏ធំល្អមួយហើយអ្វីយើងចង់លក់ហ៊ុននោះក្នុងតម្លៃថោកទៅតាមការឲ្យថ្លៃរបស់អ្នកផ្សេងលក់នៅពេលដែលមូលដ្ឋានគ្រឹះនៃក្រុមហ៊ុននោះមានការប្រែប្រួលមិនមែនលក់ក្នុងពេលដែលអ្នកវិនិយោគផ្សេងទៀតលក់នោះទេយើងត្រូវធ្វើការស្រាវជ្រាវពីក្រុមហ៊ុននោះថាតើវានឹងមានការរីកចម្រើនទៅថ្ងៃអនាគតដែរឬទេវាផ្ដល់ប្រាក់ចំណេញមកវិញនៅថ្ងៃមុខដែរឬទេកុំធ្វើការលក់ស្តុករបស់យើងដោយសារតែទីផ្សារមានការធ្លាក់ចុះខ្លាំងក្បួនទី2ទីផ្សារធ្លាក់ចុះខ្លាំងគឺជាឱកាសដ៏កម្រក្នុងការវិនិយោគដែលយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាត្រូវតែទាញប្រយោជន៍ពីវា
The biggest mistakes we've made by far are mistakes of omission and not commission. I mean, it's the things I knew enough to do, they were within my circle of competence, and I was sucking my thumb. And that is really, those are the ones that hurt. I probably cost Berkshire at least $5 billion, for example, by sucking my thumb 20 years ago or close to it when Fannie Mae was having some troubles, and we could have bought the whole company for practically nothing. And big opportunities in life have to be seized. We don't do very many things, but when we get the chance to do something that's right and big, we've got to do it. And even to do it in a small scale is just as big a mistake almost as not doing it at all. I mean, you gotta grab them when they come. And
the big opportunities in life have to be seized គឺជាឃ្លាមួយប្រយោគដ៏មានតម្លៃរបស់លោក Warren Buffett ព្រោះថានៅពេលដែលផ្សារហ៊ុនធ្លាក់ចុះ 30% ទៅ វាជារឿងមួយដែលកម្រនឹងកើតឡើងប្រកាសណាស់ពេលធ្លាក់ 10% អីវាជារឿងកើតញឹកញយទៅហើយតែបើធ្លាក់ដល់ 30% 40% 50% អីហើយវាជាឱកាសមួយដែលកម្រនឹងកើតមានឡើងណាស់ដោយកាលឆ្នាំ2008 Financial Crisis 2020 COVID Crash ដែលវាសុទ្ធសឹងជាឱកាសធំៗក្នុងការវិនិយោគឧទាហរណ៍យើងវិនិយោគ$10,000នៅទីកំពូលមុនពេលដែលទីផ្សារធ្លាក់កាលពីឆ្នាំ2020មកដល់បច្ចុប្បន្នយើងមានលុយប្រមាណ 15,000 ស្មើនឹង 50% បើយើងវិនិយោគ$10,000ដដែលនៅទីបាតនៃការធ្លាក់ចុះរបស់ទីផ្សារមកដល់បច្ចុប្បន្នយើងនឹងមានលុយប្រមាណ 23,000 ស្មើនឹង 130%ដូច្នេះយើងគួរតែធ្វើសកម្មភាពនៅពេលដែលឱកាសមកដល់នៅនឹងមុខសំណួរបន្ទាប់តើយើងគួរទិញស្តុកមួយណាក្បួនទី3តើយើងគួរទិញស្តុកណាក្នុងឱកាសដ៏កម្រនេះនេះជាមតិយោបល់និងការណែនាំរបស់លោក Buffett
I have an old-fashioned belief that I can only should expect to make money in things that I understand. And when I say understand, I don't mean understand, what the product does or anything like that. I mean understand what the economics of the business are likely to look like 10 years from now or 20 years from now. I know in general what the economics of, say, Wrigley chewing gum will look like 10 years from now. The internet isn't going to change the way people chew gum. It isn't going to change which gum they chew. If you own the chewing gum market in a big way, and you've got Double Mint and Spearmint and Juicy Fruit, those brands will be there 10 years from now. So I can't pinpoint exactly what the numbers are going to look like on Wrigley, but I'm not going to be way off if I try to look forward on something like that. That evaluating that company is within what I call my circle of competence. I understand what they do. I understand the economics of it. I understand the competitive aspects of the business.
នេះគឺជា advice ដ៏មានសារៈសំខាន់ក្នុងអំឡុងពេលផ្សារភាគហ៊ុនធ្លាក់ខ្លាំងយើងនឹងឮនៅព័ត៌មានតាក់ទងនឹងក្រុមហ៊ុនផ្សេងៗគ្នាជាច្រើនឧទាហរណ៍កាលពីឆ្នាំ2020ដែលយើងឮព័ត៌មានតាក់ទងនឹង airline cruise ត្រូវ shut down ដោយសារជំងឺ COVID ហើយថ្មីៗនេះយើងបានឮព័ត៌មានជាច្រើនពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹងក្រុមហ៊ុន AI បើទោះជាតម្លៃស្តុករបស់ក្រុមហ៊ុនថោកយ៉ាងណាក៏ដោយក៏យើងមិនត្រូវទិញហ៊ុនរបស់ក្រុមហ៊ុននោះដោយមិនបានយល់ដឹងច្បាស់ដែរស្រមៃមើលថាយើងបានទិញហ៊ុនធនាគារ Lehman Brothers អំឡុងឆ្នាំ2008ជាពេលដែលវាធ្លាក់ថ្លៃហើយយើងប្រកាសណាស់បានជាប់អន្ទាក់នៃការដួលរលំរបស់វាជៀសវាងដាច់ខាតទិញហ៊ុនព្រោះតែវាថោកក្នុងកំឡុងពេលផ្សារហ៊ុនធ្លាក់ថ្លៃខ្លាំងយើងត្រូវយល់ច្បាស់ពីក្រុមហ៊ុនជាមុនសិនសំទិញហ៊ុនរបស់វាយើងត្រូវហ៊ាននិយាយថាទេយើងមិនទិញឡើយព្រោះយើងមិនយល់ពីចំនួនរបស់ក្រុមហ៊ុននេះ
So when I look at the internet businesses or I look at tech businesses, I say this is a marvelous thing and I love to play around on the computer and I order my books from Amazon and all kinds of things, but I don't know who's going to win. Unless I know who's going to win, I'm not interested in investing. I'll just play around on the computer. Defining your circle of competence is the most important aspect of investing. It's not how important, how large your circle is. You don't have to be an expert on everything. But knowing where the perimeter of that circle of what you know and what you don't know is, and staying inside of it, is all important. Tom Watson Sr., who started IBM, said in his book, he said, I'm no genius, he said, but I'm smart in spots, and I stay around those spots. And, that is the key. So if I understand a few things, and I stick in that arena, I'll do okay. And if I don't understand something, but I get all excited about it because my neighbors are talking about it, stocks are going up and everything, I start fooling around someplace else. Eventually I'll get creamed, and I should.
យើងត្រូវប្រកាសពី circle of competence របស់ខ្លួនហើយប្រកាសថាក្រុមហ៊ុននោះស្ថិតក្នុងរង្វង់របស់យើងដោយលោក Warren Buffett និយាយអញ្ចឹងកាលណាយើងចាប់នេះចាប់នោះមិនច្បាស់លាស់យើងអាចធ្លាក់ទឹកនិងខាតបង់លុយកាក់ជាច្រើនក្បួនទី4មិនត្រូវតម្រៀបហ៊ុនដែលអ្នកចង់ទិញតាមតម្លៃថោករបស់វាទេត្រូវតម្រៀបវាតាមគុណភាពនៃក្រុមហ៊ុន
I've been taught by Ben Graham to buy things on a quantitative basis. Look around for things that are cheap. They made a big impression on me. So I went around looking for what I call used cigar butts of stocks. And the cigar butt approach to buying stocks is that you walk down the street and you're looking around for cigar butts and you find this, honestly, this terrible looking, soggy, ugly looking cigar, one puff left in it. But you pick it up and you get your one puff. Disgusting, you throw it away, but it's free. I mean, it's cheap. And then you look around for another soggy, one puff cigarette. Well, that's what I did for years. It's a mistake. It's so much easier just to buy wonderful businesses. So now I would rather buy a wonderful business at a fair price than a fair business at a wonderful price. But in those days, I was buying cheap stocks. And Berkshire was selling below its working capital per share. You got the plants for nothing. You got the machinery for nothing. You got the inventory and receivables at a discount. It was cheap. So I bought it. And 20 years later, I was still running a lousy business. And that money did not compound. You really want to be in a wonderful business because the time is the friend of the wonderful business. You keep compounding, it keeps doing more business, and you keep making more money. Time is the enemy of the lousy business. I could have sold Berkshire, perhaps liquidated it, and made a quick little profit, one puff. But staying with those kind of businesses is a big mistake. So you might say I learned something out of that mistake, and I would have been way better off taking. What I did with Berkshire is I kept buying better businesses. I started an insurance business, See's Candy, the Buffalo, all kinds of things. I would have been way better doing that with a brand new little entity that I'd set up rather than using Berkshire as the platform. Now I've had a lot of fun out of it. I mean, everything in life seems to turn out for the better, so I don't have any complaints about that, but it was a dumb thing to do.
ត្រង់ចំណុចនេះគឺសបញ្ជាក់យ៉ាងច្បាស់ពីវិធីសាស្ត្រ value investing របស់លោក Buffett ក្នុងការទិញនៅក្រុមហ៊ុនល្អហើយធ្វើការរក្សាទុករយៈពេលវែងដើម្បីចំណេញគាត់មិនមែនចេះតែទិញទេលុះត្រាតែវាស្ថិតនៅតម្លៃសមរម្យមួយអញ្ចឹងក្នុងអំឡុងពេលផ្សារភាគហ៊ុនធ្លាក់យើងមិនមែនចេះតែទិញយើងត្រូវមើលថាតើក្រុមហ៊ុននោះមានលុយក្នុងដៃប៉ុន្មានបំណុលត្រូវតែទាបមានការប្រកួតប្រជែងក្នុងទីផ្សារខ្ពស់មាន ROIC ល្អហើយចុងក្រោយគឺមានការរីកចម្រើនល្អនៅថ្ងៃអនាគតចុងក្រោយគឺក្បួនទី5ផ្ដោតខ្ពស់លើការវិនិយោគរយៈពេលវែង
If you take the 20th century, it was an unbelievable century for the United States. If you take the whole 100 years, it went up 180 for one. Every $1,000 became 180,000. But 43 and three quarters years, with those three big, huge bull markets, and 56 and a quarter years were periods of stagnation. All in an economy that was doing fine. 56 and a quarter years, net, the Dow was down a couple hundred points during that period, and the other 43 and three quarters years made up the rest of this move from 66 to 11,000 some on the Dow. So you say to yourself, how could it be that you could have a country that was doing better and better and better and better? Every generation was living better than the one that preceded it, but you had these huge changes. Big gains a few times, long periods of stagnation. 20 years, I mean, that's a long time to do nothing. The answer is that investors behave in very human ways, which is they get very excited during bull markets and they look in the rearview mirror and they say, I made money last year. I'm going to make more money this year, so this time I'll borrow, or the neighbor said, I wasn't in last year when that neighbor who was dumber than I made a lot of money, so I'm going to go in this year. So they're always looking in the rearview mirror. And when they look in the rearview mirror and they see a lot of money having been made in the last few years, they plow in and they just push and push and push on prices. And when they look in the rearview mirror and they see no money having been made, they just say this is a lousy place to be. So they don't care what's going on in the underlying business. And it's astounding, but that makes for a huge opportunity. You will see things you won't believe in your lifetime and security markets. And the country will do very well over time, but you will see these huge waves. And if you can stay objective throughout that, if you can detach yourself temperamentally from the crowd, you get very rich. And you won't have to be very bright. I mean, I'm sure you are, but you want, it doesn't take brains, it takes temperament.
នៅពេលដែលផ្សារភាគហ៊ុនធ្លាក់ចុះខ្លាំងប្រកាសណាស់មនុស្សជាច្រើននឹងមានការភ័យខ្លាចហើយបបួលគ្នាលក់ស្តុកដោយមិនបានគិតគូរហើយវានឹងរឹតតែធ្វើឲ្យមានការលក់កើនឡើងទីផ្សាររឹតតែចុះយើងមិនត្រូវស្ថិតក្នុងរង្វង់មនុស្សមួយចំនួនដែលភ័យបារម្ភពីផ្សារហ៊ុននៅសប្តាហ៍ឬខែក្រោយឡើយយើងត្រូវមើលនិងវិនិយោគវែងឆ្ងាយចិត្តរបស់យើងនឹងស្ងប់ស្ងាត់ប្រសិនបើយើងគិតពីការវិនិយោគរយៈពេលវែងលើក្រុមហ៊ុនដែលមានគុណភាពល្អ Yeah, that's it. ហើយនេះជាក្បួនទាំង5ដែលលោក Warren Buffett ប្រើប្រាស់ក្នុងការវិនិយោគពេលផ្សារហ៊ុនធ្លាក់ខ្លាំងទី1មិនត្រូវលក់ស្តុកដោយសារភ័យខ្លាចទី2ត្រូវចាប់យកឱកាសដែលមានទី3យល់ច្បាស់ពីអ្វីដែលយើងទិញទី4ទិញក្រុមហ៊ុនល្អមិនមែនឲ្យតែថោកទិញទេទី5ផ្ដោតលើការវិនិយោគរយៈពេលវែង